What's up, YouTube? I wanted to take some time to talk about Chaos Dragons. I promise you up front, this isn't bandwagon. Um, this video is going to cover 6 different builds of the deck. It's going to have a lot of material, a lot of stuff to cover. It's going to move fast, so bear with me. The build you're looking at right now, I've been playing for about the last 2.5 weeks, which is why I said this isn't bandwagon. I'm going to go ahead to just get into the little specifics. Fun text that I played was Divine Dragon. Mid to late game, top deck Divine Dragon turns into Red Eyes Darkness, Light Pulsar, Wind. So really fun card. Milling engine wise, I played minimalistic with the Light's Horns, double Raikou and Lila with double Trooper and charge the Light Brigade. With the mills, I played double Gardna. I really like Gardna in decks that focus on milling, just so that you can stall out and negate some big attacks so you can make better plays later. And maining double Trag. Trag with Light Pulsar makes some really easy rank 6 plays. With Exabeetle, you can equip Light Pulsar and then use sort of the Darken meet Scrap Dragon effect of Exabeetle to trigger your Light Pulsar and go nuts from there. The last thing to really talk about is how the deck can abuse double Torrential. With Red Eyes and Light Pulsar on the field, Torrential is Raigeki because you get your Red Eyes back, which will bring back your Light Pulsar. So really fun stuff this deck does. I just felt like it was missing something. I felt like it could explode harder while controlling better. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. But Europe helped me solve that today. But why did I decide to start playing Chaos Dragons? I mean, sure, I did a Gravekeeper video, but that's because Gravekeeper plays like Stun, especially with the way I described that in the video. But I'm the hero guy. What makes me want to jump ship to something such vastly different as a deck like this? Well, it was actually a friend of mine at Locals. He was playing a true Dragon Sword build that looked something like this. I just built this deck about 5 minutes ago to show for this video. I had playtested it a little bit prior to end up building the deck that I had just shown you. But his whole point here was Turbo JD with Eclipse Wyvern. So if you're, that Lightsworn player that's looking to try something fun and new, try it. I mean, Wyvern gets you your JDs, and then you can win more from there. But anyways, what did Europe help me with? Europe today had this deck win. At first when I saw it, I was a little confused. I thought triple Dark Flare, triple Chaos Sorcerer was going to be cloggy. I didn't like seeing triple Raikou, triple Lila, triple Recharge. And I didn't like seeing Tour Guide, but it took me about 10 minutes looking over the deck and thinking through it to realize what he did that worked so well that I was missing. The answer to that was more boss monsters with a bigger mill engine. This deck plays 14 boss monsters. Nothing ever has come close to being able to play that many boss monsters before, especially consistently. And 10 of those 14 are Chaos boss monsters, so banishing lights and darks to get them on the field. So the best way to bait that graveyard is a bigger mill engine. So you're playing the 6 Lightsworns, most of which are being used as recharge bait for more draws and more mills. Even as well as that works, personally, I still just really hate recharge. I feel like it can be dead. Maybe that's just my testing my luck, but I just don't like recharge. The third Lila I don't like. I'll show you what I did with my build here in just a couple minutes. Other things that I liked, maining triple Ryo. Ryo has always been one of the best cards in the game. I've argued that forever. The only thing to slightly tarnish that is Inzectors, but even that's really not that big a deal because of how good Thunder King is essentially everywhere else. And then the Tour Guide engine, I mean, as much as I hate it, it is true. I mean, you have to accept the fact that any deck that you play Tour Guide and Sangan in instantly increases by at least a half tier. In his final feature match where he won, he used Tour Guide to get into Giga Brilliant, which gave instant access to Light and Dark. That's just phenomenal right there. That's going to help set up everything for the deck. So it is what it is. It worked really well for him. It gave me a lot of ideas. But following that was YCS Dallas, where we have this build that took second place. And all I can say about this is it is a giant clusterfuck. I absolutely hate this build with a passion. He's only playing 5 Lightsworns and decided to tech a JD. I smell dead draws everywhere. Phantom of Chaos, what the fuck? He claimed he didn't want to spend the money on tour guides and didn't have them to borrow, so he played 2 Mystic Tomatoes. I don't even see where that helps the deck. The only redeeming factor or idea that he had in this entire deck was to play Treacherous Trap Hole, since he only had room for one trap. There were two things that his deck and the winner in Europe had in common. First was Electric Virus. Genius. In the mirror matchup, you steal their stuff. I mean, that's bottom line. For Dino Rabbit, though, if they know you have Virus, it sort of forces them to go into Dolka, which is easy to run over in this deck. If they go into Logia, you just steal it, banish it for your Red Eyes, explode from there. Steal their Zen mains and sack it for Light Pulsar or Dark Flare. Electric Virus is just too damn good now. The other thing that the two of them had in common was only playing 2 Red Eyes. They claim that 3 can be a little dead and you don't need it because you only need 1 in the grave for Pulsar to work with. I do agree with that. Personally, I'm still playing 3. I just like 3. I like it to be there. So anyways, what have I done with the deck? Here you go. I've added in a second Dark Flare, third Raikou, second Lila, double Sorcerer. I've got the bigger mill engine going on. I have more Chaos monsters. Still not as many as he was, but I'm trying to minimize a little bit of the deadness that I feel like could be there. As soon as I saw his build, I mean, I was literally able to change my build to upgrade to this within 10 minutes. And playtesting has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, in my opinion, this build right here is damn near flawless. I really can't think of anything that I would want it to do that it doesn't already. I chose to still not play the tour guides, even with them coming out in Battle Pack later. I still don't know if I'm going to want to play them or not. Instead, I'm still playing Double Trag, Double Veiler, which is really good just about everywhere. Versus Dino matchup, you can always side out the Veilers and the Trags for extra Sorcerers, Dark Flares, and Electric Virus. I should probably put 3 Virus there. For the Insectors and the Windups, we're playing Crow and Veiler, and Crow works great on Dark Worlds. For the Heroes matchup, Thunder Kings and Doom Cows, they're lights, they're darks, they help me set up my big engines, and they're 1900s that I can trade beat sticks with their stuff with. Really, there's not a bad matchup for this deck. It's able to keep those beat sticks right up there with the Dark Worlds and the Heroes. It's able to outbeat and take control over Dino Rabbit. If it gets Hand Loop, it just top decks a boss monster and explodes from there. There's really not much more I can say about it. It's really just too good. But the last thing I wanted to talk about, sort of the fun build. A friend of mine was looking at the Europe build, thinking, hey, they play 32 monsters and 8 spells. Why the hell not just play 40 monsters in Gallus? So we came up with this build. It is really, really fun. We're playing all 3 Dark Flares, all 3 Chaos Sorcerers, main Thunder Kings and Doom Cows, triple Veiler, double Crow, triple Gallus. The deck's a little more trollsy, but is really, really fun. 2 cards that I wanted to play in it were Charge and Reborn. I simply chose not to by preference. Inevitably, with my luck, I would hit one of the 2 of them with Gallus, and then lose out on a power card and lose out on my Gallus, so that's why I just chose to not play either of them. As for the future of the deck, triple Cardee. Mid-late game, you're going to be able to explode out with dragons without having to normal, and then you can just +2 here. That's always going to be really good. Or early game, if you don't have anything really decent to set up with, and you have Gorge or Trag, you just Cardee for more advantage, and then put Lights and Darks in the grave if you have to discard because you have too many cards in hand. For future Exceeds, Emerald is going to be great, especially in Gallus builds like this. Pearl's just a beater. Shockmaster is going to be harder to see play because he requires 3 material, but with the level 4s and Trag, it could see some decent play in the deck, being that you can manipulate Trag's level and steal your opponent's stuff. Lavalol Chain is going to trigger our Eclipse Wyverns. It's going to set up top deck Dads and Envoys. It's just going to be really too good in this deck. Streak Bouncer is sort of our Light Pulsars become Dolka. Gaia Dragoon is going to become staple in essentially every extra deck come Galactic Overlord, especially with the Exobeetle play that this deck has. After you do that, you just turn Exobeetle into Gaia Dragoon for 2600 Pierce, which is great. And then finally, the really fun play the deck's going to have is with a Tomb. So long as you have like Red Eyes and Light Pulsar, you bring out another Light Pulsar, Exceed into a Tomb, detach Light Pulsar to special a second Red Eyes. That Red Eyes will then bring back the Light Pulsar that was detached. Then you overlay your Red Eyes into Gustav Max, Burn for 2k, Beat Stick for 3k. The detach is putting a Red Eyes engrave, which you can bring back with Light Pulsar later. It's just really too good. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about the deck and all the different ideas and things you can do with it. Comment, rate, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.